Today, we're connected via brand building and business transformation. I'm Amira, and I'm the presenter for Sweet Stories Advertainment Company. I'll introduce you who I am later in this presentation. But first, let's have a moment to recognize our intention of this conversation for the next 60 or so minutes. The intention here is for brand building and business transformation. Let's acknowledge ourselves for being present in this moment, creating a mindset for intention, and drawing our attention to build a brand and transform our business. On the agenda, we begin with build a brand. And we're going to recognize ways to build a brand and answer, what is brand value? We'll build an identity by learning about the who of a brand. And then we'll take a brilliant brain break to recharge our curiosity. And then after we're feeling brilliant, I'll introduce myself as the presenter, as a being, and a brand. We'll add some sweetness to the mix by having an on-demand opportunity for you to build a bio. And after we build your bio, we'll build a story. As we build a story, this is where business transformation will come into play. And we'll learn ways of where you can promote brand presence. And we'll conclude the brand building and business transformation online event with a special present and review of what we built today. So, are you ready to press play on designing your dreams? Let's press play on designing your dreams. Building a brand. What is the build? What is the brand? What are the visuals? And what is brand value? Consider your present thoughts. Are you here to build a new brand or rebuild your current brand? Let's pause and reflect. If you could be selfishly selfless, where would you start? Who would you design to redesign your brand or build a new brand? Let's focus on a personal brand for a moment and the building, branding, and visuals that complement this conversation. Sweet. It's a screenshot slide. Or if you're on your desktop, use your phone to capture this screen image. You are here. You are this self in this circle. And your network is all that's around you. Your brand is all that is within you. Often, brand is connected to the logo or the images, but a brand is so much more than that. Here, we see that a brand is all of the pre-built ideas that are implemented into your business strategy. Whether it's your brand purpose or your market audience, your brand is the memory that connects your being and your business. There's brand and there's branding. Okay, so success. What defines success for a brand? Identify the ingredients of your recipe for success. Here, we're going to focus on logo, tagline, identity, mission, values, and the vision. All of the whys and whats of your brand's visuals. Once we've imagined these, the build, the brand, and the visuals of your new brand or your current brand, we can design a brand. What do you do with your ideas? How do you create something tangible and visible from the imagination of your being? Imagine your present placement. Consider the advertising. Where do you see your logo? Do you market online? or offline? What type of products are complemented with your symbol? What about the website or shopping experience of your idea? Now we've connected the build of your idea to the identity of your brand. What do we do with this? We're going to manufacture your mind. Close your eyes and imagine the advertising. What words are there with your images? Is your brand on billboards or magazines? Is your logo on notepads or buildings? What type of events are you actively present at? What about your business card? What does it say? Who are you now? So, how do we define brand value? Is how you would perceive the worth of your work. What is your work worth to you, to your future, to your business? Now that we've got the basics of your brand and you're imagining the images of where you'd like to be and the places that showcase your logo and tagline and all of the things that make up your brand identity, in this part of this online event, brand building and business transformation, we're going to shift our attention to the word identity. Identity, the way you identify with something, the way something identifies with you, and who you are in the scope of the identity. The next screen image is building an identity. Ready to review who is brand identity? We've imagined building a brand as if we were shopping for a new outfit or creating a recipe for our success. Now, how can we utilize those analogies to connect to building an identity? If there was a menu of designing your next reality, where would you go? Who would you be? What scenes would you see? This conversation opens the space for what is personal to you. What is preferred by you? And what are the personal preferences of you? Building an identity. On this menu of your next reality, what do you see? How could you refer to the locations in your mind? What type of items do you have? What about the services that you could invest in? Could you describe the visuals that you identify with in this next reality? Pause, reflect. Your brand is a connection to an identity. What form of your identity is the advertiser of your brand messaging? This could be your current marketing department or just you as an entrepreneur. If you could select a few options on this menu of creating your next reality, what do you choose as your preferences for the visual elements that make up your identity? Perhaps we can imagine a buffet of arts and crafts with different types of paper and words and shapes and emojis. What do you choose? If you're not imagining a future brand of yours, imagine your favorite brand. Pause and reflect on the shape, the colors, the words of that future brand of yours or your favorite brand. Where have you seen this logo? How has the marketing moved you? Why do you invest interest in the identity? Do you see this brand online or offline? Are you experiencing the identity virtually or at your local shops? How does it make you feel through inspiration or through connection? Sweet. Screenshot slide. Here's a screen image to capture on your phone or the device that you're presently viewing this presentation. The connection between your brand, being, and business is ultimately infinite. When we think of marketing, what marketing is the verb ing of markets. Where do you shop? Why? How are you attracted as a customer? How are you connected as a connection? Marketing is the movement of the identity to the connection of what you identify with. Have you ever bought something just because of the way the packaging looked? Have you ever driven out of route to get to that one place? Has a shopping experience ever changed your emotions, mood, and entire feeling? The subliminal effect of branding, identity, and branding identity is what makes up a business. And all of this ultimately begins with the being. In today's world, we experience brands, beings, and businesses in multiple dimensions, such as on our phones and in shopping malls, in multiple realities, such as VR headsets and AR exhibits, and even in multiple senses, from touch technologies to immersive venues. Your brand can be anywhere and everywhere. And here we connect to where that is. There is a math to the magic of marketing, and it begins with the brain. It designs a being and it builds a brand which connects a business. Displayed here are magic formulas to start your art, your brand, and your identity for your next reality and transform your current business. The 3 B's: brand, being, and business. The ABC: ads, brands, and crafts. The Me3: media, marketing, and minds. Be encouraged to utilize these formulas in sequential order or independently for your current projects. What is the power of branding? How does the value of that one simple symbol add immeasurable worth to what's seemingly somewhat similar? The power of branding is the emotional connection to your memories. It's creating an experience effortlessly. It's all of the makings of your mind cohesively connected via visuals and creatively connecting via the viewers. The power of branding. Starbucks. The value of the coffee isn't because of a print design. It's because of the symbolism of what that print is, what the print represents. The power of branding. Disney. Consider what time adds to the imaginative experience of Disney. From sketches of a mouse, to adding a voice, to creating a story, and animating the process. Disney is a worldwide recognized name. from the Disney characters to Disney Channel to Disney movies to Disney stores to Disney adventure parks, and ultimately the name Disney World. The power of branding, identity. Where will your sketches take you? What about your symbol means something today, 100 years from now, and even so, 1,000 years from then? Hashtag brilliant brain break. We've talked about the value of a brand, from the identity to the visuals. We've opened space for us to review identity, ours, others, and inspirations. We've set a foundation for what our work is worth and how we can add value to our mere existence. Let's invite our present selves to a brilliant brain break. Hashtag brilliant brain break. For the duration of 30 seconds, what is the one thing your future self would say to your present self? What is the one thing your future self would say to your present self? A few more seconds. And another 30 seconds into now is to ask, what is one wish from your present self to your future self? 30 seconds. Start. What is one wish from your present self to your future self? And to conclude these 90 seconds for a brilliant brain break, write, think, or visualize 3 words to describe your current feelings. For the duration of 30 seconds, write, think, or visualize 3 words to describe your current feelings. Emotion 1, emotion 2, emotion 3. Okay, time to get engaged in the conversation. Who am I? Why am I talking about any of this? What's my story? And why am I all about re-exploring? I'm Amira, Advertainment Amira. It's not quite my superhero name, but it's my marketing of advertising, entertainment, and myself. Advertainment Amira is a social reference, and I invite you to connect with me online at About Amira. I introduce myself as a speaker, a designer, and a consultant. I introduce myself as Amira, like a miracle. And I introduce myself as a speaker in identity and transformation, a designer in events and brands, and a consultant in media and advertainment. My titles are to designate the type of brands I market to and through. My titles clarify the industries of my identity, and my titles connect me to networks for my business. A future self of me is an inventor by mind and a designer by trade. About me, about Amira. I started my career in events and marketing, from event planning to theme designing. Clients requested invitations for their weddings, and I learned graphic design. And then I loved the micro detail of creating something out of nothing. As I built a network of clientele, we connected over the visuals and identity of their vision. And this translated into brand design. So, from the logos to the websites to the marketing ideas to integrating it into business practices, I've learned that if the visuals of an identity can be designed, then the build of a brand can be created. This is my orientation of brand building and business transformation. It's a little about me, a little about Amira. Styling a self. Okay. On demand building a bio. Branding? Check. Identity? Check. What are your ERs? Your ERs? The titles that describe the labels that describe a definition of you. What are your ERs? What are you good at? What do people compliment you? What do you feel absolutely amazing doing? What about in your most blissful mindset are you being? 100 years from now, what are you happy to be doing? What are you proud and honored and grateful to be? If you could design with the end in mind, where would we begin? Where do we begin? Branding, check. Identity, check. ERS, check. Building a bio for the titles, labels, and self of you. You're here. You are this self of you. So, how do you vocalize the introduction of your brand identity? Here are some sample prompts to write through your introduction. For X amount of years, you start with your story. This will help you think of your audience. The next one is about topic A, because conversation A, this is to think of your conversation. Okay. Next prompt. Because of what? Include a mission statement and think of your intention. Next prompt. At, company, doing, job and job. Think about your network. Next prompt. Born in blank, living in blank, and currently blank. Think about your market. Next prompt. Who? Future term of you. 2, your vision statement. Think about your orientation. Could you create a 300-word paragraph introduction to your new who with these prompts? Without these prompts? Here's a sweet tip. Try writing your brand bio in third person first. Building a connection. a review of our built brand and preview of business transformation. What does my personal brand have to do with transforming business? It's about building the connections. If you could change one life, even if it's yours, would you? Could you? Create conversations worth an and. And sweet starts. How does this connect to my audience via keywords or even SEO? What can I talk about one-on-one as a service or as an anytime conversation? What's the reason I'm having this conversation? Who do I know that can add value to this? Where in my local networks can we influence? What is the key movement of the information? Pause. Reflect. For a moment to hashtag be selfishly selfless, I would like to acknowledge us for being here, being present, and being in this moment. What built your business is what designed your brand. What built your business is what designed your brand. Through my experience in brand building and business transformation, this quote about entrepreneurial design is for you to hear, for you to read, and for you to feel. Entrepreneurship is the byproduct of the inner brilliance of a being and the outer connections of a brand. And the last conversation in this online event, brand building and business transformation, is to address: where do I promote my brand presence? Can I connect my built brand into a transformed business? Or is it a transformative business as a rebrand? Play tag with your taglines. From hashtags to social platforms, these one-liners connect your brand, being, and business. If you'd like to actively be involved here, I encourage you to create curiosity with your new brand ideas. Hashtag be selfishly selfless. How do you start conversations worth an and? Hashtag sweet tip. Write a be statement that you would make for your bestie. Hashtag brilliant brain break. Where does your brain go for a 60-second pause? Hashtag sweet tip. Create an imagine this scene in your head for your present self. Hashtag be your selfie. Between your brand and business, what message do you share with your future self? Hashtag sweet tip. Design a mission message for your beings. Hashtag go where you grow. Now that you've styled your success, imagine the places you show your story. Hashtag sweet tip. Start a tagline that leads to what's next. To review, Can I connect my built brand into a transformed business? Or is it a transformative business as a rebrand? The words transforming, transformed, transformative. In all versions of the word, business transformation is the activation of what growing from your brand. Ask yourself, what is my business currently doing? Whether it's the current operations, services, or your manufacturing process, what is being done as a verb? What are people doing? What are departments doing? What are markets doing? Create a word cloud. A word cloud is to grab a piece of paper and just start doodling. Take 30 seconds to mind map your ideas. Write all of the words that come to mind with the topic, such as, what is my business currently doing? Review the tasks, the verbs, and the behaviors. Could you create job descriptions for these titles? Who would you hire first? Who did you hire first? Where would you shift your attention to supporting industries? Where would you market your identity first? Now imagine the locations of your landmarks. What's my brand currently being? How does it feel to experience your business as a customer, as an entrepreneur? Create a word cloud for your current business operations. What are people being? What are departments being? What are markets being? Transformation is the evolution of your alternating currents. There is doing and there is being. As your present self, how would you design the versions of yourself? Past, present, future? What words would you use to describe the identities of these selves? Why do these characteristics fit these titles? Where would you place the version of you that designed, that built, that created, and that connected this industry? Imagine the departments of your business, the characteristics, the identities, and the versions. To transform your business and be transformative as a business, create conversation around what's new, what's next, what's best. What's new is, what do I see that's new? What do I define as newer? What's next? What would I design as my next step? How do I get from that to this? What's best? Who do I have to be to access the new? In my character and characteristics, why do I view what's next as my intended orientation? Pause, reflect. An acknowledgement for being here, being you, and being present. Your preview of your next reality is created because we've imagined it here. So let's review the preview. As a business, what about your story is perceived as a sweet customer connection? Example, your customer acquisition. What services emotionally influenced your behavioral metrics. Example, purchasing power. How do future generations experience your presence on Earth? Example, your customer retention. As a being, you have a story. As a business, you are a store. As a brand, you are a store and a story. A story with two E's. And as you, as yourself, you are sweet. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being a part of this online event, brand building and business transformation. The recipe to success is being you, yourself, and your story. From brand building and business transformation to the making of sweet stories, what's made are sweet stories. If you are interested and intrigued by the content of this online event, brand building and business transformation, check through these sweet resources for brand building and business transformation available online at sweetstories.com. For the duration of the 60 seconds, I encourage you to choose an image from this online presentation to reflect, review, and renew you. Stay connected, stay sweet. I'm About Amira. This is with Sweet Stories Advertainment Company.